Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Sufyan bin Muhammad Zulkifli and my message ID is DD220090. So now I will start our presentation for lab control and instrument, and I will start with control discharge process. Next, we go through with the procedure. Before starting the experiment, we need to identify and study the PNID drawing, and then every student need to follow plant assistant to trace the mechanical and electrical circuit for the discharge process, whether in the plant or in the control room. After everyone ready, we need to switch on the MCCB, PLC and DCS in control room. Next, we go to plant to track the pipeline before running the discharge process. After tracking, we need to open the valve on the pipeline for the discharge process. Besides a valve, we also have a pump that is P203A. We need to switch on and switch out the pump at control room from the PLC, and then switch on the P203A on the DCS until the green light on the screen. We need to record the level of the oil in the tank from at DCS and the level sensor at the plant. Repeat the line tracking plant to release back the receiver from T209 back into vessel VE203. Open the valve on the pipeline and then switch on the pump P219 using an automatic method on DCS and PSC until the green light to move the oil from the T209. Lastly, record again the level oil on the level sensor at the tank and the reading on the DCS and wait until the pump is automatically off. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Wan Muzaffar Amin bin Rosnawi. My metric number is DD220098. So we will proceed our experiment with control heating process. So for the control heating process experiment, there were 6 equipment used. So first is the distribution control system. Next, we will have reservoir. Third, we have pump. And fourth, the temperature sensor. And then we will have the temperature valve. And finally, we will have the walkie-talkie for communication between the people in the control room and people on the plant. Then we continue to the procedures of this experiment. First, the PNID drawing are first studied before starting the experiment of the heating process for reservoir in the tank VE203. So, second procedure is to the mechanical and electrical circuit pipeline were traced for the heating process, and then the boiler is start up, and fourth, the 4-bar steam at plant were set up, and then the MCCB and PLC were switched on manually. 6. The DCS system switched on. 7. The heating process line were tracked, and 8. The process line were lined up and the equipment were test run. And 9. The temperature were set up at the TIC 203 in the DCS for 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100%. And the last one is the automated control system was activated for the heating processes. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Zikri Ahmad bin Sasuddin. My number metric is DD220093. So I will continue with the control valve calibration and assembly. The equipment we use in this process is first screwdriver, ruler and current signal generator. Before begin, we need to make line tracing. Water from tank feed to the heat exchanger through the globe valve and feed out back to the tank. The oil from the vessel goes down to the heat exchanger. A cooling process takes place and out to tank to 0 now. During the process, the first step is inject 4 milliampere current into the IP transducer. Next, increase the input current. Measure the valve stroke. Read the output pressure and collect the data. Repeat the same step for closed valve, which is decrease the input, measure and reading the pressure output.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Alanadira binti Yusuf and my number is DD2200906. I will proceed with the presentation video with the experiment of differential pressure transmitter and pressure transmitter calibration. So the equipment unit is hand pump, pressure transmitter, differential pressure transmitter, DC power sources 24 volt, multimeter, resistor 250 ohm and tube for air supply. Before you start the experiment, make sure all the equipment is in the good condition. And then hook up all the equipment as per diagram in the lab sheet. Apply the pressure by using the hand pump. Gradually increase 0%, 25%, 50%, 75% and 100% of span. Observe the output and record into the calibration sheet. After all the output were recorded, release the pressure gradually, decrease by 100%, 75%, 50%, 25% and 0% of span. For the next experiment, the same procedure are used by changing the pressure transmitter to the differential pressure transmitter. After all the output were recorded, release the pressure gradually, decrease by 100%, 75%, 50%, 25% and 0% of span, and record the output of the differential pressure transmitter and multimeter into the calibration sheet. So that's all from me, thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Adi Ahlami bin Talmizi, number matric DD2200911. So I will continue the last experiment presentation, which is temperature transmitter calibration. So we will start with the objective. So the objective of this experiment is to understand and construct the circuit configuration for temperature transmitter calibration. The second one is to test run the circuit and calibrate the temperature transmitter. Next, I will continue with equipment. So here we have 5 important equipment, which is temperature sensor, multimeter, temperature transmitter, resistor 250 ohm, and the last one is DC power sources, which is we will set it at 24 volts. So we will go to the last part in my presentation, which is procedure. So the first one is we need to set up the apparatus same as in figure 9.1. Second is we need to set up the voltage DC power supply to the 24 volt. Third, we need to have 3 different type of temperature water, which is cold, warm and hot. Fourth, temperature sensor is put in cold water and wait a few minutes for temperature reading and stable current. Fifth, temperature and current readings are recorded in the experiment table.
The last one, experiment 1 until 5 were repeated using different water conditions, which is warm and hot.
So I think that's all from our group. Thank you.